Coming up on today's Airborne, Google is said to be in talks with Virgin Galactic. Cooperation resolves challenges for Thunderbird's inaugural appearance at AirVenture, and a privately owned public-use airport is threatened with closure. Welcome to Airborne on Aero-TV. I'm Ashley Hale. Google is reportedly talking with Sir Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic about purchasing a share of the space tourism company. A move which observers say could give the internet behemoth a way to easily and quickly launch satellites. The news broke one day after it was announced that Google was buying the startup satellite venture Skybox Imaging for $500 million. Google's plans for extending high-speed internet access through things that fly are multifaceted. The Google Loon project would accomplish this feat through a constellation of high-altitude balloons, and the company recently bought Titan Aerospace, which developed a high-altitude solar-powered UAV that can potentially stay aloft for years without landing. The existing Virgin Galactic space tourism concept does not have orbital insertion capability. Could a business deal like this mean that Branson is going to move Virgin Galactic in that direction? We'll be watching this and we'll report back when we have more information. A common question asked about EAA AirVenture Oshkosh is why have they never had the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds or the Navy's Blue Angels perform at the event? The answer has always been the location of the airport and the event boundary lines did not meet the minimum FAA safety requirements. This year, however, major changes for the airport layout and extraordinary cooperation with the community and local businesses are making it possible for the U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds to perform at AirVenture. For those attending AirVenture 2014, the most noticeable change for the Airshow will be the crown line on the event's final 3 days. The Thunderbirds crown line will be moved back considerably, and access to aircraft parked between the crown line and the Airshow's safety zone will be restricted. The Thunderbirds aircraft will be based at the Whitman Terminal ramp throughout the weekend, but the team will be participating in various forums and programs during their stay in Oshkosh. You're watching Airborne. We'll be right back after these messages with more news and our feature of the day.
ADS-B will be mandatory for most aircraft by 2020 in the United States, but you can benefit from ADS-B today with the Bendix King KT-74 Mode S transponder. The KT-74 meets the global mandates for ADS-B out when attached to a suitable WAAS GPS. Finally, the extraordinary story of the world-changing X-Prize space competition is being told and illustrated with hundreds of insider photos in Jim Campbell's colorful new book, Beyond the Blue. Journey with Jim as he flies formation with spaceships, plays in zero gravity, prepares rocket racers, and documents the amazing first decade of the personal space race. Available this summer. Get your advance order in now by checking out www.kindredspirit.com.
Welcome back. If you'd like to be a supporter of Airborne Aero-TV, our website, or our podcast, drop an email to jim@aero-news.net. Ocean Ridge Airport in Guyala, California, opened in 1963, and the privately owned public-use airport has become an asset to the coastal community in Northwest California. The airport's website reports that in 2013, the airport was notified by the state of California's Department of Transportation that its runways had degraded to a point that the airport may lose its operating permit. The agency set a deadline for runway repairs of September of 2014. The Ocean Ridge Airport Association has established a crowdfunding campaign to raise the money needed to keep the airport open. The owner of the airport has operated it as a public-use facility for the benefit of the community, but is not able to afford the repairs mandated by the state. The cost of the repair is estimated at $60,000, according to a notice sent by the association to its supporters. Fundraising efforts so far have collected about $15,000. Contributions to the efforts can be made online. And now it's time for our Aero video of the week.
Final liftoff of Atlanta.
New airliners require a lot of testing for certification. This video shows you one fascinating step in the process. Search A350 XWB water ingestion test on YouTube. Organizers of the South Shore Airshow at Fair Oaks Farms in Indiana have quietly removed Art Noll's the Harrier from its lineup, following recent accidents involving similar aircraft belonging to the U.S. Marine Corps in recent months. If Noll really was canceled because of a military accident in a similar aircraft, we at ANN find that to be a bit odd. It makes about as much sense as the airshow organizers restricting airshow attendees from driving a specific make and model of car to the airshow because it also had been involved in a recent accident. Noll is a former U.S. Marine Corps AV-8AB pilot. He purchased the airplane in 2007, and according to his website, it's the only civilian-owned and flown Harrier. And he puts on one heck of a show. Airborne's brought to you by some of the best sponsors in the aviation business. We'll be right back with more news.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
Welcome back! For the first time in the event's 27-year history, the Citation Special Olympics Airlift includes Beechcraft owners alongside Cessna Citation operators flying roughly 700 athletes from across the country to compete in the 2014 Special Olympics USA Games in New Jersey. The airlift, the seventh such quadrennial effort, is sponsored and managed by the companies of Textron Aviation. More than 100 owners and operators have donated their aircraft along with pilots and fuel to transport athletes and coaches from 28 departure locations in 22 states to and from Trenton Mercer Airport in New Jersey between June 14th and June 21st. Bob Gobrick, president of Special Olympics North America, said, quote, "The Citation Special Olympics Airlift represents a truly rare opportunity for those in aviation and for Special Olympic athletes. By not having to expend funds on commercial transportation, our programs are able to direct every possible cent towards other expenses related to sending their athletes to the 2014 USA Games," end quote. It has turned into something of a tradition, though one that may have seen its final chapter. Former President George H.W. Bush celebrated his 90th birthday by jumping out of an airplane. Bush has now jumped on his 80th, 85th, and 90th birthdays. The former president was assisted in the tandem jump by a former military jumper. The pair landed near Bush's home in Kennebunkport, Maine. It's reported that the jump was the fulfillment of a promise he made to himself on his 88th birthday. He told his granddaughter Jenna that he had one more in him and he planned to use it on his 90th birthday. It was Bush's 8th time to bail out of an airplane. However, the first one was not planned. He jumped from his Navy TBM Avenger bomber after being hit by Japanese ground fire during World War II. Well, that's our program. Remember to get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Please remember, Airborne is streamed 3 times a week and is always online. Join us every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a new edition of Airborne. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.